joining our webinar today. I'm Kim Rayfeld, Director of Marketing and Public Relations for AMAG Technology, and I am your host today. Our webinars are designed to keep you up to date on what is new with our Symmetry Security Management System and our services to provide an overview of our unique benefits and help you differentiate your company from others when you partner with us. If you have any questions throughout this webinar, please type them into the Q&A box and we will get to as many as we can at the end of the webinar. And then we'll follow up with any that we didn't get to in the thank you email that we'll send you in a day or two. So today we welcome back Product Manager of Hosted Solutions, Matt McIntosh. Matt will give us an overview of what we'll be showing in our booth at ISC West, which is taking place next week in Las Vegas. And as always, I'll wrap it up with a short marketing update at the end. AMAG Technology offers a robust, unified, and open security platform that empowers businesses to effectively secure their facilities, meet compliance, and have peace of mind. Our scalable solutions provide operational insights and intelligence to improve business today and tomorrow. Our solutions also help our reseller channel and end users solve security and compliance challenges. The Symmetry Security Management System and our ecosystem of best-of-breed technology partners work together to provide a complete solution for you. Now it is my pleasure to hand it over to Matt, who will give you a sneak peek into what we are showing next week.
Thanks, Kim. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Matthew McIntosh. I am the Product Manager of Hosted Solutions here at AMAG. Us at AMAG are very excited about this year's ISC West. We have a lot to show off, including a brand new booth, which we are really looking forward to. The booth is going to have 4 different sections, each able to display an M4000 panel, Symmetry Blue, and everything we're about to show off today. So next slide, please. So first comes Symmetry Access Control. This is really one of the core parts that we've become known for. So we're going to be showing off the latest version, which is 9.4.51. This is a general maintenance release that we have currently out with a handful of customers kind of soak testing, and we're hoping to release to everybody in the next week or two. This release has a number of general M4000 enhancements as well as some bug fixes. But one of the nice features is that there is a new updated configuration tool for the M4000 panels, really making it easier to kind of set them up out of the box. Also being shown off for the access control side will be a new integration with SAFR SCAN. SAFR SCAN, if anybody didn't see the webinar last month, is a facial recognition reader that really does a wonderful job. They kind of focus on a handful of things that really differentiate them from other readers. One being their use of lighting. They really prioritize the facial exposure, allowing them to work in backlit or direct sun scenarios, as well even no light scenarios extremely well. They do a number of specializations around anti-spoofing, allowing them to, via the use of a 3D and RGB liveness technology, to really make sure that it is a person that they are scanning and not a photo or anything else like that. Also is how their algorithm is built. Number of algorithms are kind of built off of headshots. For examples, they don't. They've gone more candid photos, which allows them to build their algorithm off the kind of photos that they're going to see in the field, giving them, again, a nice, easy way to make sure that what they are seeing is a person and make that connection. The other great part about this integration is just how simple it is to set up. Really, it's 2 steps. One, connect SAFR to Symmetry by the SAFR configuration server, give it the IP address and port and such of Symmetry, let that connection be made. Then it's simple, add a card holder to Symmetry and it'll go into SAFR and you're ready to go. So very simple, very easy to use. Our counterparts in the UK just showed this off at Intersect, and it was really the star of the show there. So it's definitely something you want to check out at the booth. Next slide, please. Going on to Symmetry Mobile, we have the release of 27.6, which was actually just released to production this morning. This one has a number of new features that are added, 3 of which I really want to focus on. First is the ability to disable offline credential functionality. So the offline credential functionality is a great piece of functionality which allows for a card to be disabled or even removed if that user is not using the mobile wallet often. So this is really handles those scenarios where a user changes phones, doesn't remove that credential. You don't want that to be able to get out into the open. So you can set up the offline functionality so that it will automatically either just disable that credential or remove it from the wallet altogether. This, however, has caused a problem with a few edge cases. For example, a employee doesn't visit a building very often, maybe once or twice a year. Their credential now, since they're not using the wallet on a regular basis, might get the credential removed. Now we can set up a different credential for these users and disable that functionality so that every time they go to use the credential, it's not necessarily going to get removed on them, but just kind of handling those edge cases on it alone. Also in this release is a number of improvements to the photo management capabilities. So now you will have the ability to either disable photo management where a user doesn't have to take a photo or will be requested to take a photo whatsoever for mobile. Also change if the photo needs to be approved by an admin or if it should just be auto approved. Also, you'll have the ability to set how you want the credential to be able to handle based on the photo. You can have the photo only activate once a photo is submitted or even once it's approved. So kind of being able to give you that option to force a user's hand to make sure they submit a photo before they can use their credential. Just overall, a lot more flexibility with that photo management options. Finally, we made some customized or improvements to the mobile sync tool. So this is the tool used to get credentials up from Symmetry to mobile. Right now, you'll have the ability to filter out which credentials you really want sent up to mobile. You'll be able to do it by card type, by card number range, or facility code to give you the ability to make sure that the only credentials getting into mobile are really the ones that you want into mobile. Next slide, please. Next, we'll be showing off the Symmetry Mobile Enterprise Reporting and Analytics tool. So Symmetry Enterprise Reporting is a new web client. It can be both hosted and on-prem. And out of the box, it gives you some reporting based on web-based reporting. So this will include some built-in access control reports, as well as the ability to create some custom reports, as well as data exporting. So if you wanted to be able to export a large amount of data from Symmetry, this tool will be able to give you an easy way to configure those queries and output that data. Symmetry, will work similar to advanced reporting in Symmetry if anybody's ever used this, but again, now it's giving you an ability to be a web-based platform that can either be hosted or on-premise, depending on what the customer needs. Also included in enterprise reporting is our Symmetry Analytics as an add-on. Next slide, please. So Symmetry Analytics, if anybody hasn't seen it before, has been around. We've been talking about it for a little bit now. It used to be that we were showing it off with a Microsoft BI as the user interface. We have updated now, and it will live within enterprise reporting. So Symmetry Analytics is going to give you modules for risk analytics, occupancy analytics, and device analytics. So from a identity standpoint, this is where we are talking about risk matrix, which employees have the highest level of risk to the organization, any anomalous activity or suspicious activity in the sense of cloned cards or consecutive card warnings can be right there. Occupation analytics, here we're talking about the volume of people per day or per month or by department, so overall use of the buildings within the organization. And then device analytics. This will be showing you what kind of alarms and events you're getting by type, or if there's any alarm proximity, if there was an at-wrong door, and which identities were recently in that area. This will also be able to where you can see if devices are been thrown off more erroneous alarms than others, and see if there's anything that can be done to resolve those issues. Next slide, please. Next on the to show off is CompleteView 7.3. So CompleteView 7.3, this will be coming out shortly after ISC West, and includes a number of enhancements. First is camera movement. So with camera movement, previously there's camera 1 would be camera 1 and camera 2 is camera 2. If you remove camera 1, it would only affect camera 1, but then also camera 2, as that's how the camera was identified. Now each camera will be basically identified by its unique identifier, allowing you to move them around within and keep that history and association with it. Also included are enhanced web views. So you'll now be able to integrate HTML5 websites into the videos or the video panels. So you can have the weather or news or such, any sites you would like to go along with the videos for just one added information. Improved motion detection performance. So with this, there's been a number of performance for both speed and system use. So smart searches are showing up as up to 40% faster, and then the motion detection on live video is using up to about 30% less CPU usage. So lots of updates to make the whole performance a little bit better on that. Enhanced playback. This really helps the user friendliness of the playback, being able to search through the timelines and really see the videos that you're looking to see, as well as enhancements to the analytics of the on-viv camera support. Next slide, please. Also with the CompleteView 7.3 is a new utility that is designed to find gaps in video. So the case here is you have a scenario where you have a number of cameras that are geared towards particular customer's area. Camera has issues, and for whatever reason, the period of time the video isn't captured during that time. During that time, an incident happens. You don't find out that the video was missing until that incident happens. This utility gives you a proactive way of kind of identifying any place that could occur. So ahead of time, be able to see where the video where it was missing for a period of time. Trying to prevent those scenarios, or at least you finding out about those scenarios at the worst possible moment. This utility is run separately outside of the CompleteView 7, but will be able to be run on them, as well as going back older versions. Next slide, please. Finally, we have Guest and Connect. So with Guest and Connect, there's been a number of enhancements since our last show. First would be the ability to import unknown identities. This is coming in a release very soon. With this, we've always kind of shown unknown card holders. Now we give you ability to act upon them. So unknown card holders would be ones that are in the access control system, but not in Connect, which obviously pose a risk where you don't know how they're being managed. Now you'll be able to import those or act upon them as needed. Also included, or also recently included and been showing off, is the improved user experience for the access requests. So here we've done a little bit of UI work, making it an overall better experience, adding abilities like the ability to see the history of requests. So if you make a request, you can see where it currently stands, or you can see what you've requested in the past. This is to hopefully help reduce the number of duplicated requests coming in because a person's just not sure where it stands, or if they requested, or if there was a problem or such. Ability to resync an access control system. So this is a great feature that was recently added, where the access control system and Connect itself or disconnect the system. There can be times when something happens, a communication is lost or such, and the two get out of sync. If you know of this occurring, or you're just worried that it might have, you can click this option and it will basically check Symmetry against what's in Connect. If it finds any differences, it will then do the synchronization from Connect down to the access control system to make sure those two are in sync. The ability to manage visitors as an identity. This one is very recent. With this, visitors have always been kind of an aspect of guest. We're now bringing them into IDM, treating them as a first-class identity as they are, allowing you to now delete visitors and such that you weren't able to previously. Been a number of enhancements to badges. We're now supporting 600 DPI printers as well as 300 DPI printers. There's been enhancements to the photo resolutions of the on the badge, so your user photos will now show up a little bit sharper and a little bit crisper. And then the ability to edit checked-in visits. So this is on the guest side. Once a visit is checked in, it had been locked in stone, and we're now opening up a number of fields that you can change. So, for example, if you wanted to prolong a visit, you can now go in and edit that checked-in visit to extend that departure date and such. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kim to give you the final marketing updates.
Thanks, Matt. That was a great overview. As a reminder, if you have any questions, to please type them in the Q&A box. So now that you know what we're showing at ISC West, I want to personally invite you to our booth, 14089. We've completely redone the booth with new graphics, and we brought back the meeting room for this show. This year at ISC West, we're participating in the educational portion of the show, and I want to invite you to attend a panel discussion about protecting data with physical security. Longtime friend of the webinar, Jonathan Moore, who I know many of you know, will be participating in that discussion. And that panel is on Wednesday in Venetian 304. That's the room number. I also want to invite you to a happy hour that we're having in the booth on Wednesday from 3 to 5. Stop by for a beverage and see what's new with Symmetry. Get a up close and personal demo of some of the stuff that Matt just went over, or just stop in and say hi. We'd love to have you join us, and I'd love to meet you if you've been a long time contributor, not contributor, but person who's attended this webinar. I would love to meet our customers and get some feedback. So let's see here. Let me see if we have any questions. We've got one question here. Is the credential reusable? Not exactly sure what that means, but Matt, do you want to maybe give it a try, or should we come back and answer that one later?
Sure, I can give it a shot. So I think this is in reference to mobile. And in general, yes, the credentials are reusable in mobile. They will, just like any other credential, be able to have a expiration date. And again, there's a handful of features in mobile that will allow you to kind of automatically disable the credential again offline, being one of them in case it's not being used. But in general, with mobile, there is a mobile app. You assign a credential to a user, and that will be reusable as long as it is active.
Okay, we've got another mobile credential here. Question, with mobile, if a user loses a card, how does mobile disable and enable the new card? I don't know if you can see that one there, Matt.
Yeah. So with mobile, mobile works off of an admin utility that communicates back and forth to the device. So in general, you would add a credential, you get a user, or the user would get an email. They can scan a QR code, add that credential to their wallet. From that admin portal, administrator has complete access of that credential. So we do have the Symmetry Sync tool to kind of help get those credentials up from Symmetry. But that admin portal is really what manages those credentials. So in this case, I call up and say, hey, I lost my phone. You can go in, find my credential, revoke that credential, which would then remove it from the phone immediately.
Thank you, Matt. That's great. So I think that's it for the questions. Thank you, Matt, for presenting on today's webinar. And thank you to Jamie, who is making sure that everything is running smoothly behind the scenes. If you have any questions about Symmetry, please reach out to your local salesperson and we can set up a meeting with you. As always, the full webinar and previous webinars are all posted on our YouTube channel. As soon as we end this webinar, a short survey will pop up in your browser. Please take a moment to fill that out so we can make sure that we're always providing content that is important to you. Thanks again for joining us today. We hope you'll join our next webinar on April 18th. Watch your inbox for details and hope to see you next week at ISC West. Thanks so much.